Hey everybody, Funky McClunky here, and I want to show off something new that I got in my collection today. It's not like super rare or anything like that. A bunch of you probably have them in your collection now too, but they're relevant to the last video that I posted. Maybe not the last one. One of the most recent videos that I posted about Hasbro's Star Wars Retro collection. It is the Phantom Menace set, and I just have a few words to say about it. I'm going to open it up and take a look, and let's talk about it. So let's get going. Okay guys, so in one of my last videos I talked about missed opportunities in the retro Star Wars figure line, and how I felt like maybe it was kind of a feathered fish, meaning that it doesn't really know what it wants to be and it's trying to be too many things to too many different people, and I still feel that way. That being said, I think that while I still believe that the focus of the retro line should be making figures in the vintage style of original trilogy characters that they never made when we were all kids in the 70s and 80s. That would be the sweet spot for me for the retro line. If they want to make retro styled figures for the Disney shows, Mandalorian, stuff like that, that's cool. I'll collect them. I think they're neat. They're fine. I'll buy them. I don't really buy any other modern Hasbro stuff, but I'll buy those. I don't think they're super necessary, but you know, they're kind of cool. The Phantom Menace set is kind of an in-between weirdo thing for me, in that I remember when the Phantom Menace toys came out and they were the first new characters in the Star Wars universe that we got figures of in the 90s, and it was super exciting. It was cool. I was a grown-ass man at the time, but I went and bought some of these toys, and granted, the shelves were just flooded with these things, and they had varying quality, I would say. Some of them not so great. And they still maintained a lot of that original 5 points of articulation feel, but with just like updated sculpts and materials and things like that, a little bit better than what we got in the 80s. So this retro line seems kind of, or this retro set seems a little weird, just in general. But I gotta say that I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm glad to have them, honestly. So I'm just gonna go through these and make a few comments here. First of all, one thing that you'll notice, I complained in my last video about the cheap cardstock of the retro figures, and I still don't like this kind of unnecessary weathered look that they have. I could be wrong. I need to do a side-by-side comparison, actually, but it seems like it's maybe a little less significant in this set. Like maybe they've played down the weathering. It doesn't look as much. I don't know. I could be making that up. Retro sticker is still huge and unnecessary. Definitely could be smaller or whatever. The cardstock is thicker. This feels like a real card. I'm so excited about that. I still have a problem with the fact that there's all this text on the back and there's not a single image or anything that entices you to want to keep the card or buy any other figures. But that's all I'll say about that. The Queen Amidala figure, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. She looks good. No complaints. Jar Jar. Everybody loves to hate on Jar Jar, and it's well deserved, because I mean, frankly, he sucked. He sucked. He was a really annoying character. I hate all the bad vibes that went to Ahmad Best. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. The guy that played Jar Jar. That dude's a sweetheart. He seems awesome. He seems like a real cool dude. And he had to put up with a lot of shit from fans just because they didn't like the stupid character he had to play. But anyway, I'm going to have some fun with this figure in the collection, posing him and whatnot. Battle Droid, super cool. I love how simple it is. I really wish that they had released these figures individually so that people could army build the battle droids. That would be really cool. Nobody should have to buy this whole Target exclusive set so that over and over so that they can get a bunch of those. I hope, Hasbro, if you're listening, I hope you rectify that in the future. Make them available on the web, on your website or something. Darth Maul, it's cool Darth Maul. He comes with a Kenner style double saber, which is awesome. He should have had cloth goods. He should have had a robe of some sort. I'm going to have to find one to put on him to complete the look here. But it's a good sculpt. I think it looks really good. I dig it. Obi-Wan Kenobi, same deal. I think it's interesting that they chose to let me back up. Same deal. He could stand to have a cloth cape or cloth robe too. But I think it's really interesting that they chose to put his little braid, make it hard sculpted onto his torso instead of making it a separate like ponytail kind of thing. Like I think they did on the retro Fennec in the Book of Boba Fett line, I think. Anyway, I'm just surprised that braid isn't. I guess they wanted to keep it thin looking instead of like a ponytail, but it's just. I mean, it looks good, but it's just kind of interesting that they made that choice. And then finally, Qui-Gon Jinn, who did come with a cloth goods robe, which is great. I really wish that the other ones had come with that too. I like the sculpt of Liam Neeson. I like it because it is. You look at it and you're like, is it Liam Neeson? I don't know. Could it be some just like other random guy dressed as Liam Neeson? Maybe. But that's how the Kenner figures were back in the day, the originals, right? Like you look at the Han Solo figures and you're like, I don't know, is that Harrison Ford? Is that a stunt double? Is it a total random dude? I don't know. But you know that it's Harrison Ford because you've seen the freaking movie. I look at this and I'm like, that's vaguely Qui-Gon, that's vaguely Liam Neeson, and that's good. That serves the purpose here for me. Anyway, short video. I'm not going to say much more, but I'm pleased that they seem to be making some improvements within this series. I still think it's kind of weird that they're doing the prequels in this style, but I like them. They're neat. I like the thicker cardstock. I swear that weathering is less intense. I could be making that up. One last thing I'll say is that I know that they're making another one of these for Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. I think it's really strange that they're only making one set and they're making characters from both of those films and putting them in the one set. It's a little frustrating just for collectors who want to have the sets, the boxes, for their displays. Plus, there's just plenty of opportunity for figures in both of those films that haven't ever been made before. They could fill two sets with those, I think. So I really wish, and hey, maybe things will change between now and release, but I really wish they'd do two separate sets for those. Anyway, oh, and for God's sake, don't make it a Target exclusive. Target's whole thing with this, like some stores had them for weeks, some you couldn't find them. The inventory system was all weird. Just today they went up on the website. I managed to snag this one at my local Target a couple days ago. Come on, guys. Hasbro, Target, get it together on the distribution. Anyway, until next time, stay funky, everybody.